Hi there, welcome to The Truth About Putting. My name is Anthony. Now in this video I'm going to explain to you the common club golfer putting mistakes that cause 3 putts, missed short putts and wasted shots, and how you can change this and start taking between 25 and 30 putts per round. And a little bit later on I'm going to explain to you how a little tip I relearned a few months back and resulted in a career low 9 birdie 7 under par 65. Quite an amazing day, and I'll tell you about the little key that I rediscovered that made this round possible. Okay, putting mistake number 1, focusing too much on having a perfect stroke. Now, I see this a lot, guys working too much on their strokes, guys and girls working too much on their strokes. They're losing sight of the actual, the main game, which is the target. Now, I can illustrate this in a story from the golf course. A little while back I was playing in a midweek comp. I was playing with a guy named Ray. There's 4 of us, and he had a putt from 25 feet on the 4th green. A flat putt. I had a 20-foot putt there for birdie. He hit a putt 12 feet past the hole. Now, if you hit a putt from 25 feet on a flat green, 12 feet past the hole, there's something going on in your head that has to cause such a poor result. He 3-putted. After he hit that ball, I said to Ray, "What were you thinking about there?" Just after he hit it, I said, "What was going on?" Because I'd just written a book on putting, and I wanted to find out. I wanted to find out what he was thinking about, what the mental process was. I asked him again, and he said he was trying to hit up on the ball. So, trying to hit up on the ball is totally a technical thing, and by doing that, if you're not orientated towards the target, you're just going to be hitting up on the ball. So, golf's a target game. You have to be orientated towards the target. That's number 1. Forget about the stroke so much when you're from that distance. You've got to be zeroed in on the target. Fortunately, after that, I hold my putt from 20 feet. I had a little tram line I saw 6 feet into the putt there, and the last 6 feet I just put it on the tram line, and in she goes. But anyway, Ray took this advice. He had a couple of 2-putts, a few 2-putts on what do we have? 5, 6, 7, 8. Then on the 9th green, he double chipped a chip, and then he holed his putt just from 15 feet off the green on the fringe. He did the same thing on 10, and then he holed another one for about 8 feet on 14. He got up and down from about 30 feet on 11, 8 foot on 14, another 6 foot on 15, another 8 foot on 17, and then on the last he holed another 25 footer. So he held 7 1-putts in the final 10 holes. And I hadn't said a word to him, just some applause during the round. And I asked him, "What were you thinking about?" And he said, "I was, I was reading the putt more, and I was focusing on the line and the line to the hole." So, 7 1-putts in 10 greens. 75-year-old guy, 19 handicap. So we changed his focus. A good stroke is a result of a relaxed body joined to an attentive mind following a dependable free shot reading. Okay, let's dig a little bit deeper here. Okay, so this, if you remember the story I just told you about Ray and the target, the hole, this, it's just the way that human beings respond to targets best is, to be focused on them and to react to that. So obviously the hunter here, he's not thinking about where his right arm is and his wrist and the flex of the shaft there on his spear, his boomerang, or where his weight transfer is. No, he's focused on a fish or a little crocodile there. But that's how you want to react to the hole, how a hunter would to a target. That I know it seems natural, and of course it works. It works superbly well. It's just the way that the human being, our physiology and our psychology react best to targets. Okay, mistake number 2, change into some new radical grip will make you a better putter. okay, now people do this and it feels better, they're not using their wrists as much or something like that, but it's not a, there's nothing deep behind it. You can't sort of say to a person, okay, I'm a better putter now because of this. It's just it's a feel thing. But really, if you want to go deeper, if you want a putting system that, that is good all the time and is really good a lot of the time, you got to go deeper than this. Grips and putters, the clubs. It's not about that. It's about, this is what it's about here. This is a system. If you look back to Ray's story, remember we got him orientated towards the target. You remember the hunter in the other slide. Read, routine, react, review. And then we want to dig deeper into these to make it all work. This stuff here feeds your putting stroke. The reading of the green, how you react to the target, your routine, how you react to the target, feeds the feel of your putting stroke. Buying new putters and changing putters will make you a better putter. Mistake number 3. Now, I've just sort of gone through that. Now, I see this as a you could draw parallels to getting a lean, strong body. Now, a lean, strong body doesn't come from pills or some piece of equipment. No, the lean, fit people, us out there pounding the pavement, we get lean and fit by a good diet and doing exercise consistently, and throw in some good sleep there as well. Those are the things that make you lean. And the same with putting. It's not about the actual club. It's not about sort of, gadgets. It's about the, this stuff here. Read, routine, react. It's about the target. Forget about the tools. Mistake number 4, luck, speed of greens and putts not breaking can be the cause of missed putts. Okay, guys, now this is, now these are external excuses. So there's people, you hear about it all the time. Oh, the putt didn't break. Oh, these greens are slow today. Oh, I hit the pitch mark. So they're external excuses. So you can't become a great putter if you look for external excuses. This is where the review system of those 4 R's, the analysis, the internal solution, that's where the solution lies. So this is the treat missed putts as a gift. Now this is what I'm talking about. That many times I've missed a short putt early in the round. It happened to me the other day. I hadn't played for a little while. I was a little bit rusty. I'd missed a 3-footer on the 4th green. It was straight. My putter, I didn't accelerate through the putt. The putter blade laid open. I went away, and I even said to a playing partner, "That's cool. I've had many great rounds where I've putted well after missing a putt, because I'm not blaming anything. I'm blaming myself, but I'm looking into the problem. I just told you what the problem was. So what I then throw in there, because I know my system inside out, I throw in there a putting anchor, like a swing key. I've got a lot to draw from, and that keeps my mind still, and it frees up my body to respond. While my mind is occupied by the anchor, it frees the body up to respond naturally to the target, like the hunter does. So, and I putted great. The rest of the round had heaps of 6 to 8 footers, made them all, and had 30 putts, because I responded internally. I didn't blame something. I just worked out what the problem was and had the solution. Not practicing how you play. Now I see a lot of golfers down the putting green. They're sort of hitting balls from one spot. 95% of players I see, it's okay to do a bit of grooving in your stroke to get a nice action going. But it is a simple thing, the putting stroke. Now don't overanalyze it. It is a very simple thing, and you don't even need a great stroke. I mean, there's been some great players with completely different strokes, from Bobby Locke to Gary Player to Jake Nicklaus to Tiger Woods. Billy Mayfair, excellent putter. He takes the loops, the putter. As long as you're orientated towards the target and you're reacting to the target, it's much more important than just a perfect putting stroke. Anyway, on the putting green, like you want to, if you go on a golf course, you hit putts from all sorts of distances and slopes. You might have a uphill right to left from 20 feet, downhill left to right from 6 feet. You might have one from 30 feet or 50 feet. You might have a 10-footer straight putt. You have to practice all these putts and all the situations on the putting green. You have to practice your creativity. You have to practice your routine. You have to practice reacting to the target. Don't just get out. Make your practice sort of like how you would play. So you get out on the course playing, and it becomes sort of, oh, okay, I've done this on the practice green. So it becomes natural. And this stuff is very important when you're under pressure, when you're deep in the back nine. You've had a good front nine. You want to keep that putting going. Your routine is what brings you through there. Knowing your putting system does as well. Mistake number 6, not having a repeatable pre-shot routine. Okay, I've talked about this before, and it is the absolute key for driving home that good score deep in the back nine. It is what my best rounds where I've gone, well under par, to keep that good round going, to have 23, 24, 25 putts. You need to know your routine inside out. Look at Tiger Woods. I've been watching him for 15 years, and he has there's 2 looks, there's 2 practice swings. It is a physical routine and it's a mental routine. And you can't see the mental stuff. I can go into that deeper later on, but it's so important. So it's a unifying factor there that all great players have. They have a dependable, reviewable putting system. This is the system I'm talking about. And obviously, to know it well and to depend on it, you got to go deeper into that system. But that is the 4 R's. So this all came. My putting changed a lot when I was doing a golf traineeship in the late 90s. At the time, there was a lot of work being done on the golf psychology. A lot of the top players were working with psychologists and trying to maximise their talent, shoot lower scores out on the tour when the pressure's on. And so there was a lot of work on that. And I read some books, and I was working on how to make my scores better as a pro golf trainee. And I wasn't a great ball striker at the time, and it all just started to click. It was amazing. Oh man, I was very good in short putting when I was younger. I did a lot of practice, but I never hold anything over 15 feet. And never got, freaky low holding putts from long distances in those low 20s for 18 holes. But this started to change, and I had quite a few, 9 holes where I have 3, 4, 5 birdies, and it was pretty amazing. And then here to illustrate that, this is a diary from my playing days. What my playing days? I still play in the late 90s. So this is the first trainee match for the year 1998. It's a lot of par 3s on this course, but par 65, some long par 3s, some short. I hit 9 greens on this day, but this here is the putts column, and you can see all those ones there. This was our first name. We played the back 9 first. Had a few bogeys that day. I was up and down, had 6 birdies, but had 23 putts. I won the day, 3 under par, a princely sum of $530. And this is going off, the 4 R's. I didn't know it as the 4 R's, and I was working on parts of that, but I hadn't didn't have the clarity that I have now to explain to you about all this then. But it was amazing. It was happening, and I've putted well consistently since. And then sometimes you have days like this. Just the other, a few months back, 15 years later, does this stuff work for long term? Yeah, it does. 15 years later, I rediscovered a little key in my putting system. I was reading some other stuff and rediscovered it. I went out. This is without doing much practice. I didn't practice the day before I played, or even for a few days before that. I went out there and I just tinkered. I tinkered with this here. See, like I said, once you get the system, I tinkered with my routine and the reaction. the reading was always good, and the review is good. And the result was a 9 birdie. This is my career low, 7 under par 65. And if I hit a couple, if I'd driven home a couple of long irons on the back 9, I would have had 9 under. I had 8 under through 13 holes. I had a couple of long irons that I didn't quite, I missed by a fair way and didn't make birdies. I birdied 15. I didn't make par on those 2 holes. But I had a good iron swing that going these days. I didn't have this capability of the irons earlier on in those trainee days, but I every now and then I do now. I hit the ball, my irons very well, but I made a lot of putts. So you got to make a lot of putts. Not only 2 long ones and about 7 from under sort of 10, 12 feet. A couple, really close, and then a whole lot of 8 to 10 footers. 25 putts I had in this day. And you can only do that. You can only go that sort of birdie after birdie after birdie if you know your system. I mean, I was 5 under through. I birdied the 2nd to the 6th, so 5 birdies. Great birdie opportunity on 8, missed it by 10, missed a 12 footer by, put it 2 feet past. Now, something not going on right there. I adjusted my system and made birdies, a great birdie on 10, 12, I hit a close one on the 13. So, even on a day like this, it's not perfect, and if you're in tune, you can adjust and roll when needed. A couple of guys that, this is all great, this works for me, but also, everyday guys. Ian's a new player to the game, and in the last couple of months, he's gone from shooting in the 90s into the high 70s. Now, this is an amazing improvement. He does a bit of chipping and putting practice. He doesn't mind doing that, and he had great results. Fred, American guy, 66-year-old 7 marker. He's averaging between 26 and 31 over 12 rounds. So that's around 28, 29 putts per round, and that's great putting in for anyone's game. And Gary, I recently got an email from Gary, who's from Narooma on the east coast of Australia. A beautiful place, right on the Google it. It's right on the coast. It's gorgeous, sort of like a Pebble Beach type scenario, or New South Wales Golf Club. Anyway, Gary won his B grade championship. You can read more on the long page below us about that. He said his consistency was great over 4 rounds, which is because of the truth about putting system that I lay out, which is awesome. It's great to hear those stories. Now, this is it, guys. We've got, guys and girls, we've got a whole 7 or 8 videos in there. We've got the book, which is 50 pages, which is the Bible, a lot of stories, and there's also the principles in there. Also, what I've done just to keep your learning going for longer than just buying a book or videos, I have a 12-part. It's actually more than 12 parts now, but it's over 12 parts. Lessons that come out every 4 or 5 days. If you take from the books and maybe a video, it's a lesson, and just to keep you on guard, keep your improvement going, and there'll be a few unique lessons there that you won't get from the book and the videos either. And I also throw in a golf psychology book, which goes great with the putting book, because the fastest way to lower your scores is through better putting and better course management, how you select your shots, your visualization. That's much faster than tearing apart your swing and going to work on that, because the swing is much more complex than putting in terms of the technique. Technique is much harder to get right than the putting technique is. Yeah, so that's, like I said, that's the mental mastery book. How to hit more greens, have more birdie opportunities, how to visualize your shots, how to play more consistently and avoid disaster holes, how to improve your technique just by thinking better. That's through visualizing your shots. Your technique can become much better. And in the putting, we've got 11 principles to complete putting, the unique green putting method that I use. That's part of that read, part of the system. How to virtually eliminate all 3 putts through the reading, and holding putts under pressure. I mean, like I've talked to you guys, driving home that good round, keeping it going 7, 8, 9 shots better than your handicap. You can do that if you can, the right mental keys to use when you're in those situations. how to practice effectively. The stroke keys, the putting anchors, I like to call them. Once you've got an anchor, that frees up your body to respond naturally to the target, keeping the mind quiet. Yeah, come in, try the programs, guys. You got a 100% money back guarantee. You're gonna become a better putter from this stuff. You're gonna learn more. You're gonna become better. But you know, I've got a 60-day money back guarantee. If you don't like it, I'll give you your money back, and you can also keep the book as well. So that's no problem. I want you guys to become better, and I want a fair transaction here. To purchase, just click the orange button right down the bottom of the page, or the pricing tab on the top of the page there. Thanks for listening, and I hope you take advantage of this offer. I want to hear your good putting stories soon. And thanks for listening, and I hope to be in contact with you soon.
Click the link right below this video to get started. And remember, if you decide at any point within the 60 days that this isn't right for you, I'll send you a full refund, no problem. You'll just have my sincere thanks for at least giving it a try. So click the link below, and I'll see you on the other side.